The church throws out the word demonic too loosely. You want to know what demonic is? Demonic is American chattel slavery, the dehumanization of Black Americans in this country, okay? Not giving these people their reparations.
People don't like hearing this, but history has a long memory. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In case this is your first time, my name is Kinsley Wonha and I break down trending topics. Do well to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you. So, America will continue to feel the consequences of its injustice towards Black people, not because of revenge, not because of hate, but because unaddressed injustice doesn't disappear. It compounds from slavery to Jim Crow to redlining, mass incarceration, and economic exclusion. These weren't accidents; these were systems, and systems leave scars. When a country builds wealth while denying an entire group access to opportunity, that imbalance doesn't magically fix itself. You see, it needs wealth gaps, education gaps, health gaps, trust gaps, and instead of repair, America keeps choosing denial. You can't keep telling people to move on when the damage is still being felt every single day.
The church throws out the word demonic too loosely. You want to know what demonic is? Demonic is American chattel slavery, the dehumanization of Black Americans in this country, okay? Not giving these people their reparations, okay? It's also using African American hair for pillows, couches, and mattresses, using slave skin for leather. That's demonic. Trump throwing immigrants in Alcatraz. If they try to escape, they're going to get bit by alligators, okay? Concentration camps in 2025. That's demonic. Okay?
Just one generation. The Black community can get one generation to have a good, just no unfairness. When you have the vice president defending me being called a monkey, or the watermelon people who look like me, the Black community, being called monkeys. The vice president of the United States defended that, saying, oh, we can't just, hold them accountable. They're just kids, just kids talk. We can't hold them accountable for a long period of time. Just a month ago, y'all got people fired for speaking negative about CK. The last time I checked, Trayvon Martin, that's a child. Tamir Rice, Michael Brown. As a matter of fact, I'll even say Breonna Taylor. Those are all children, right? Because there was a 25, 30-year-old in that little group chat too. But somehow, the vice president can defend them. But you want to always tell me it's not about race. The Voting Act right is about to be overturned so that way they could dilute the Black vote. DEI got removed, even though that benefited white women more than anybody else. Black Lives Matter on the little streets, removed. Black mayor-run cities have been attacked by the president. Slavery and Black history has been removed or watered down in our museums across the nation. Over 300,000 Black women have been fired or let go from their jobs and counting. But you want to tell me it's not about racism. Racism is why your life is expensive. Racism is why you cannot function in this society. And you feel like everything here is unfair because it is. Because of racism. It's not a social class issue. If it was just a social class issue, there would be a hell of a lot more millionaires and billionaires because of the opportunities that we have here in this country that y'all like to proudly brag about. It gets to a point, at this point, I've been really flustered all day about this, to be honest with y'all. I really have. I've been doing really good with having a peace of mind, but this voting action right is really bothering the hell out of me. So what I really want to get to is this King's protest, this No King's protest. Make that shit count. Make it impactful. Make sure when you guys are in those streets, y'all not worried about your kids having a daycare or nothing, having fun. No. Make it worth it. Boycott everything. You shouldn't be subscribing to anything in this nation anymore. And I don't care if it's Netflix, Disney, HBO, DoorDash, Uber Eats. Get rid of all of it. Make your voice and make your money talk. Let them resonate. You need to resonate with them. You need to make them hurt the way they're making you hurt. I don't know. I'm beyond this. The VP defended us getting called monkeys. That's crazy.
I was having a conversation with one of my friends in Norway this week, and he mentioned something that he said makes no sense to him, being from a country like Norway, about a country like America, which is technically the richest country in the world. He said, why doesn't America offer social services like healthcare, education to the entire population? And I said to him, it's due to racism. Everything in America comes back to racism. Whether you are a slavery denier, a racism denier, or you want to believe that America lives in this post-race world, everything comes down to racism. If America was a homogenous country like Scandinavian countries were, we would have all the above. Scandinavia has been ranked one of the best places to live in the world, one of the happiest populations in the world, but they're also some of the most homogenous places still today in Europe. So when you have a population that is built on identity and similar identity, and that identity is rooted in the country's nationalism, you want to give everyone in your country services. America is built off slavery. America wouldn't be what it is today without the work of my ancestors. When black people gained independence, white people did so reluctantly. They weren't happy that slavery ended. Shit, we had a whole fucking war with the North, between the North and the South, due to slavery and them wanting to continue to keep us as slaves. So when you have half the nation that wanted to keep slavery because it was such a lucrative business for them, and now having to pay people to do those same jobs, you are not happy that the people who were once subjugated under you and you owned as property are now citizens of the same country as you. So you'll do anything possible within your power to subjugate them and to oppress them, which is what this country has always done to black people. So when you see democratic socialist countries in Europe, like the UK, France, Germany, all the Scandinavian countries, Japan, a lot of places that give their citizenry, they provide healthcare, education, and basic services to those people, it's because those populations are homogenous. They did all their dirty work abroad. Colonization happened abroad, not at home. And America literally keeps its populations uneducated and poor due to racism. They do not want black people to be educated. They don't want black people to have health care. They don't want black people to own homes. So things like segregating schools, segregating hospitals, literally redlining us into creating the ghetto so we couldn't own homes. These things are documented laws in this country. And I don't think we'll ever be in a post-race world. And I think when you have the Republicans arguing over things like whether we should have health care or not, it's due to the history of slavery in this country and how we just don't give a fuck about everybody. And in America, everyone is not the same citizen. Black people are not treated the same as white people. Mexicans and Latinos are not treated the same as white people. Asians are not treated the same as white people, even though the aforementioned think they're white. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Good old America.
Never forget that the United States was built on stolen land with stolen people who were massacred and brutalized. All of this that is happening right now is a direct response to white people being pissed off that this country elected a black man to be president, not once, but twice. And he was and still is beloved. This is an inherently racist country. And until we face that, admit that, and dismantle it, we're going to keep having these problems.
So we can be honest, okay? Many immigrants, not all of them, many immigrants come over here and they mock the oppression of ethnic black Americans, okay? Whether they understand what's going on and the dynamics behind it is irrelevant. The fact is, a lot of them come over and they mock our oppression. They don't understand that here's the truth. The truth about our oppression is the fact that we can't be deported. Okay? They can. Okay? And this is a power dynamic that white supremacy has used throughout history. Okay? The only way black Americans can leave is if we want to. Okay? And they have tried it, like, for instance, with Liberia. They've tried it by making other places, yeah, go over here, go over there, go over there. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit that they have paid, just like they did with Liberia, they have paid leaders in other countries to say, okay, we'll make you citizens, or okay, we'll do this. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because they've been trying to get us off of the United States of America for centuries. Okay? They cannot, because we are citizens, right? We aren't immigrants. And so the only option they've had is to oppress us. And they used immigrants to do that as well. Okay? If anyone's watching this video, you have to go back and watch my Stitch video and the other Stitch video. Okay? So when the immigrants come over here, the professional immigrants come over here, so that they don't have to give Black Americans these professional positions a lot of times, especially in the past. The immigrants feel like, hoo, I'm smarter than you, but in reality, the only reason they're allowing you to come over here is so they can get rid of you later. They're not. They want to get rid of you later. It's a constant boom, 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 boom. Okay, so yeah, you come over here on the visa, they want you to leave. They want you to leave, and they'll get somebody else to replace you. They want you to leave. Okay? That's the whole thing, and this is why we're seeing what we're seeing today, where suddenly immigrants are a problem. No, they've never, and I did a video about this long ago. They never wanted you here. They make things appear like they want you here. They don't want you here. They just want you to work. That's it. Okay? Why do they need the immigrants? Not because they're smarter. It's because, oh my gosh, we don't want to let Black Americans. We don't want to let Black Americans, because we can't get rid of Black Americans. Black Americans will end up being on top. Because they already know. They already know our skills. They already know about us. They'll be on top. We have to keep Black America down, because we can't get rid of them. We have to keep Black America down. We have to keep their water bad. We have to, wherever they are, we have to do everything we can to keep them down. We can let Chinatown flourish, but Black America, no, we can't. We can't do that. We have to. Can't do that. No. We can let some people come over here on some H-1B visas or HB1 visas, whatever it's called. We can let that happen. Yeah. But yeah, we can let some people come over, as long as we can ship them back. Make sure you look for anything they do illegal. We can ship them back. They can't ship us anywhere. They can't ship us anywhere. See? So that's where the oppression comes in. Because we want to stay supreme. In their heads now, they're supreme. We want to stay supreme. And you can see it happening today. When they tried to remove Tuskegee Airmen out, remove the fact that they're Black. Just put them in with everybody else. Remove. You know? They just have this thing about being supreme in their heads, right? When they know they're not. They can't run this country alone. Let's be honest. They never did. Okay? But they want to keep the majority. They want to keep the majority. And then they want to make the immigrants feel like, yeah, you're better than Black America. When in fact, they're not. They're not. They're going to find every single way to get them up out of here. This isn't the first time they've done it to. This is not the first time that they've done it to Latinos. This is not the first time. This is not the first time they've done it to Africans. This is not the first time they've done it. This is not the first time they've harmed Asians. They're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. They're going to find a way. They're going to do all kind of different. It's going to be some kind of 12-step process that we're going to do this first, this third. They love playing the long game. And they will change a law here or there for something they plan on doing in the next couple of years. Oh, yeah. They do that. They're doing that right now. And I know a lot of people think, oh, she's lying. I'm not lying. Here, look. Historically, they've always brought immigrants over here, including white ones. The white immigrants aren't any. The white immigrants are duped too. Okay, the white immigrants are duped too. They need the white immigrants because a long time ago, the white immigrants, were indentured servants, and they could hire them much cheaper than Black Americans, regular workers. Yeah, because even Black Americans hired some of them. And they didn't complain or anything because they didn't want to get kicked out of America. They wanted to stay in America. They didn't complain, so they took whatever they needed to take. Okay, and that doesn't make Black Americans lazy. It's just that Black Americans had options. We don't have we can't be deported. They knew that the immigrant white people and non-white people didn't have an option. They're going to take it. They're going to shut up. They're going to do the work or leave. And sometimes they can do all of it and still end up leaving, getting deported. So that's how it is in America. Our oppression, and I want every ethnic Black American to hear this. Our oppression over the years has not been for any other reason but because they fear what we do. That's it. They don't fear anybody else. They fear what we do. Because we are the ones who can stay. This is our country, too, and they know it.
Our history is forever lost. We have to pay money to find out our history. And when I talk about this shit, make me so sad. It almost make me shed tears because sometimes I still look at pictures to this day and see a Black man hung when his hands tied behind his back with fire coming up off his feet. I'm like, God damn, how many ways you trying to kill him? He already can't free himself, but you still put fire on his feet too? When I look at that, that's my people. He could, the generation down, that could somebody be a relative to me. I always think about what have we done as a species or as people. What have we done so much for people to hate us? Why? What? Why? I don't understand it. And for that reason of me not understanding, I know a lot of people don't understand it. And if you ain't lived in it, or if you ain't lived in the skin like this, you'll never understand it. That's why I speak for it now.
America is so deeply rooted in racism and particularly misogynoir that even if you are from America, being a Black woman does not make you an American. And America does not want to claim you as one of their own. The only people that they want to claim as one of their own are white. This is especially and very particularly clear in cases of Beyonce, of course, Meghan Markle, Serena Williams, in the case of Simone Biles, because America does not consider Black people or people of color Americans. When I came to America, the most interesting thing for me to realize was like, oh, so like white people get all the credit for the stuff that people of color actually introduce into the culture. I just thought this was like a system that y'all employed. Like I thought it was like, oh yeah, we all look to the people of color to set the trend and then we all copy it. Like that's obvious. And it wasn't. I was just autistic, it turns out, the whole time. So it wasn't obvious to everybody else. But back in my country and like other countries in Europe, like I know this for a fact, like you were saying, like they defend women from their country just for being from that country, right? It's like, no, she's ours. Like you don't get to say shit about her. But again, because there is this distinction in America of like, you're not really American unless you're white. And they don't get claimed. And it is so obvious because like, in any other country, had a woman reached the fame and status levels and the accomplishments that any of these women that I named off have reached, like Beyonce, who's from Houston, Texas, like the most all-American thing that you can imagine, like she is it. And America doesn't claim her. In fact, a lot of people will tell you to your face without even being prompted that they don't like Beyonce. I've never encountered that in other countries. Like I've never really dealt with that because it's super weird because she's clearly very accomplished. You don't have to like her. But a lot of people will even go as far as to say that she's overrated. Based on what? Who else is doing any of the things that she's doing? She's overrated compared to whom? She's literally alone in her category, and people say she's overrated compared to whom? Who is underrated compared to her? No one. The things that she's been able to do are literally unthinkable for most other artists. She's the celebrity of other celebrities. There was a line to come say hi to her at the Grammys, and she didn't win Album of the Year. Taylor Swift did. It's weird, guys. It's weird. In any other country, like, Simone Biles would be in every commercial. But I don't see her getting those kinds of brand deals. With Meghan Markle, like with all of these women, it's like, America, take the fucking W, but they're too racist to take the W. To even like celebrate the fact that a fucking American married into the British monarchy. Like, that's high level infiltration. And Americans are like, I don't know, I don't care. Like, no, you're fucking crazy. Like, any other country would be up in Britain's face, like celebrating, being like, how's it fucking feel? Like, Serena Williams was not allowed to wear a life-saving cat suit to play tennis. A game that she arguably like owns at this point, like owns. She has more championship titles or whatever than any man, any white woman, and yet America is just like, yeah, I mean, that's Serena Williams. Like, not, like, no fanfare, no big deal. Simone Biles, the most decorated Olympian of all time, and America just won't take the W and put her in every commercial and have her be the spokeswoman for everything. Like, it didn't make sense to me until I really understood racism. And it's because America has a problem with being represented by Black people. Whether that's due to like guilt, shame, racism, or anything else, it's wrong. It's wrong. That's why it happens. Like, if you're wondering like why maybe some Black women also don't come together and like defend these women, is because there is reward in your proximity to whiteness in America. So the closer that you are to white people's opinions, the more as a person of color that you are rewarded and doors are open for you, until they are inevitably slammed in your face because you have gone too far. But it's a way to sort of function in this giant fucked up mess of a society, because you need to put food on the table. So you adopt the opinions and mannerisms even of your oppressor, because it makes it easier to function. It makes it easier to not have to always be on defense against other people who are like you. The offense is always there. You just don't realize it unless you're one of those people. And then you realize how much easier it would be if you were just on the other side of things. And that's really fucked up, but it happens. And so a lot of Black women, when they turn on other Black women, it's because there is reward in that for them. There is. America rewards your proximity to whiteness. But at the end of the day, even if you are like white passing or whatever, there's still a ceiling that you're going to hit, where people are not going to come to your defense just because you're from America. Even if you are in any other way, like an American household staple, like everybody knows and probably even loves at least one Beyonce song. And I'm telling you, in any other country, you are a distinguished part and representation of that country, and people will defend you just because you are from that country, as this commenter is saying, which they're spot on. But not in America. Not in America. In America, if you're a Black woman, you cannot be used as a representation of America. That's because they don't want everybody else to know how much they've stolen from Black women and how much of this country really is the work, the literal work, sweat, blood, and tears of Black people and people of color in general. If they were to actually start uplifting and supporting and claiming Black American women, if they were to start doing that, the standard of excellence would be set way too high for another white man to ever reach it again. So it's kind of like by downplaying and not recognizing any of Black women's accomplishments, almost like we're ignoring that the bar is actually up here, and we're clapping for people who can get up here, and we're like, oh my gosh, that's Ryan Gosling, Joe Biden, look at him being interviewed for 20 minutes straight. Like, the bar can be so low if you don't recognize the achievements and the exceptionalism of Black women. So it helps the whole country to keep the bar low, because otherwise there is no competition. That's what I mean. Like, when people say Beyonce is overrated, who is she competing with? No one. No one. When people say people like Serena Williams or Simone Biles are overrated, they are literally, these women are in categories of their own. There are none others like them. And people still say that they're overrated because that helps keep the bar low for white men and white women to excel. Meanwhile, Black people and people of color have been up here for years, just being ignored and not recognized for these achievements, so that everybody can gather around and clap for mediocre white men. That's what really this country was founded on. It was a bunch of white men who didn't want to be told what to do anymore, and they wanted to be, recognized for their accomplishments. They wanted to be independent. They didn't want to be part of anything. So they made a country just for themselves. And it shows. It shows. Everything in this country is a wheelchair ramp for white men. And again, it shows. They are the least stable, most easily threatened, most fearful, most insecure demographic in this country, followed very closely by white women. Because wheelchair ramps only make you weaker, not stronger. And ignoring other people's accomplishments doesn't make you better at anything. It makes you lazy and spiteful. That's America for you. That's what it was built and founded upon. laziness and spitefulness. Those are the results. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Godspeed.
Ignorance is bliss. Like, I didn't know what racism really meant. And so I ignored some of the cues. I ignored some things, like they didn't get to me. But now that I can see it in microaggression, I see it in, oh, you are black, you can do so well so long as you don't do better than me. You know, in those little things that give off racist vibe in people who are supposedly Democrats. And I'm like, so black people, how have you been dealing with this? Because now I cannot ignore. Now that I can see it, I cannot ignore. How have you been dealing with this? And please don't tell me to go back to my country, because I ain't going nowhere. We are in this together. Help a sister out. How have you guys been dealing with the microaggression? Yeah. From supposedly non-racist people. Tell me.
So the real question isn't if America will feel it. The question is, will you choose accountability or keep paying the price for long term? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk.